부산의 새로운 도약을 기대합니다.
Busan people are very proud of their city. They want to share the city with everyone. If we get the World Expo, it'll really put Busan on a global map.
세계 박람회가 어울리는 도시, 미래를 향한 힘찬 도약. 부산에서 출발한 파도는 이미 세계를 향해 뻗어 나가고 있습니다. 2030 부산 세계 박람회. 부산이 시작하고 대한민국이 함께 이뤄갑니다. 이 캠페인은 지역과 함께하는 든든한 동반자 BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Laura McLucky and Minsu Shin. BFM 부산영어방송.
Hello. Happy Monday. Happy September 4th, everybody. How are you? I hope you're doing well. It's another Monday here at Inside Out Busan. And even though it is very hot, there's a breeze in the air that says, autumn is coming. Not in a creepy way, in a good way. It's kind of fresh, right? So this time of year, it's usually linked with doing things that make us feel cozy, like reading, for example, reading month. But young people these days aren't really reading as much. So there was a famous author who once said, picking up a new book is like making a new friend. Oh, I like that. It is. It's like opening up your world to more stories, right? And thus, first impressions and preferences and shared tastes are believed to shape our book selections just as they shape our relationships. So what do you think? Do you agree with it? And which was the last book you read? And that's going to tell me all I need to know about your relationships.
It was a Friday night, I woke alone to get the feeling right. We started making out and she took off my pants, but then I turned on the TV, and that's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23, and I still more abuse my TV shows. What the hell is ADD? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again? The drive home, I called her mom from a payphone. I said I was the cops and your husband's in jail. The state looks down on sodomy, and that's about the time that bitch hung up on me. Nobody likes you when you're 23, and I still wanna use my bank phone calls. What the hell is call ID? My friends say I should have my age. What's my age again? What's my age again? About the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23, and you still act like you're in freshman year. What the hell is wrong with me? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age again? That's about the time that she broke up with me. No one should take themselves so seriously, with many years ahead to fall in line. Why would you wish down on me? I never wanna act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again? What's my age again?
Oh, I do love a little kickstart to a Monday evening. Hopefully that woke you up if you were feeling a little bit sleepy on your 퇴근길, on your way home. That was Blink 182, What's My Age Again? And straight away, Cosnim texting in on YouTube saying, did Mark say, I walk alone to get the feeling right? Or did they say, I work alone? It's I work alone to get the feeling right. I work alone to get the feeling right. Yeah. I work alone. No, I walk alone. Although it does sound like I walk alone. But there you go. Thanks for asking. It's a good question. Remember, what songs did you sing that you didn't know the lyrics to, or that you completely just sang the wrong lyrics to for a long, long time, and then you realized that they were the wrong lyrics, and then you finally learned them and, started singing the right ones? I don't think I have any off the top of my head that I used to sing, but I'm sure there are, I can remember, kind of. Anywho, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me here this Monday evening. It's 6:13 and 29 seconds on the clock. Welcome to Inside Out Busan. I'm Laura McCluckey. Minsu Shin is still not here. Sad. Minsu Shin is still on vacation, which is a very happy time, actually. So I'm very glad that Minsu is not here because he's enjoying time with his beautiful family. So, Minsu, we miss you. However, don't tune in. Enjoy yourself. Don't think about work. Deal? Deal. So I'll be here with you and for you for the next week. All alone, but don't worry because we've got lots of fantastic guests coming up. And of course, I'm never alone when you're all chiming in. There's 4 keyboards in this room. Who needs all these keyboards and monitors? What is this? This is like 1984. I miss the days of one keyboard. I don't know which one I'm supposed to use. But I'm not alone when all of you are messaging me in on 샵9050 #9050 for 101. Kakao Talk is absolutely free of charge for you, my friends, because we love you very much. Or you can head on over to YouTube and check us out. You can see what I'm looking like in the studio today. Chakanim and I came up in the elevator together, and I said, what am I wearing? Because I didn't really realize what I looked like when I put on my clothes today to come outside. But here we are. You can see, you can be the judge of what I'm wearing. It's a choice. I made the choice, and I'm all in. I don't know if I'd make the same choice, but here we are. Whatever. It is what it is. Annie's in the studio as well, banging around over there. If you can hear that coming through. What are you doing over there, Annie? And I'm so glad that I'm with you today on Monday. It is the 4th of September, and I hope you had a fantastic day. I really wish we could all have, wonderful days every single day. Of course, that's not the way it happens, but I'd love to know. How was your weekend? How was your day today? Get in touch. Let me know. And also let me know, what was the last book you read? And do you recommend it? What was it about? Blah, 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 blah. Tell me all the stuff. Tell me everything. Okay, I'll see you on the old YouTubes. Come and find me. Cheers. So, at the top of the show, we're talking about books, of course, and autumn is a time of year that's really, really kind of associated with books and associated with reading because, of course, reading month, and then the weather starts to cool down and you start to feel that kind of romantic way, 가을을 타다, and you're like sweaters and chai tea lattes and just big boots and cozy jumpers and all of that. So reading really goes well with that, but did you know, or do you believe, that the standards of picking up a book and choosing a friendship are similar? Well, what we do, for example, very basically, we tend to choose a book or a friend if we have, first of all, a first good impression, 첫 인상, and it aligns with our taste. So you see lots of books if you're in the bookshop, and then you're like, ooh, I like the look of that cover. And the cover might be the one that grabs you first, or the title. And then you're like, ooh, that sounds like something I might like. And then you kind of dig deeper, right? But these days, a lot of people are turning to social media for books and for friendships. Over 80% of respondents on a survey that was conducted recently said that they rely on book recommendations, specifically from influencers on social media, when they're selecting new books. So there's actually a book talk community like TikTok, you know, the thing that I don't have, because I'm not hip enough, has been very influential in encouraging users, who are often young people, to go out and buy the physical book in bookshops, right? Which is really important. We should support our local bookshops. But in addition, the most common way to discover new books is by talking to friends, and we trust our friends' opinions, right? So if a friend says, hey, listen, this is a really great book, you might think, okay, well, let me see. Let me read a page or so. But you know what? I was saying this just today, even before I got my script for this evening. I tend to, sometimes, not always, but if it's a book that I'm like, okay, I just want to know kind of the outcome of this, I will either skip through all the pages, I'll just find the bits that I want to know about, I'll look through like either the contents or whatever, or maybe I'll read the conclusion first, depending on what kind of book it is. Introduction, conclusion, finished. And then maybe if the conclusion sounds good, then, you know, maybe I'll read the actual story. But I don't know. I'm the kind of person who doesn't mind spoilers in movies. I actually quite like them. Yeah. But I am a big audiobook lover, and I choose my books the same way that I choose my friends. Something to inspire me, something that is supportive and will champion my efforts, and something that says, hey, listen, you just got to be who you are. And I love books like that. And I love those kind of stories. Like, for example, one that I always go back to, The Alchemist. Such a good story, such a beautiful message, and so beautifully written as well. That's just such a bonus. And I would love to be friends with the with the alchemist in human form. Maybe I am already. Ooh, maybe I'm going to start labeling my friends as books. Anyway, we've got lots of messages coming in already. Toking님 saying, happy Monday, Laura. Hiya, happy Monday. I just read a book, Black Sheep, written by Brant Menswar. Korean version. I want to read the English version of this book someday. Ooh, what's the story? Tell me the story. And Ryu 원장님 texting in saying, wow, 꽃밭이다. Flowers are filling the studio. Yes. You mean my face? Annie's face? Thanks very much. And saying, Socrates Express, I do highly recommend this book. Of course, all my time favorite is Harry Potter. And yeah, of course, you love Harry Potter. So you like your friends to be magical and mysterious and brave and courageous and loyal. So that's what all the Harry Potter books say to me. Anyway, how about you? What do your book choices say about your friendships? What do you think? Get in touch. Pound 9050 샵 9050 or Kaki Talk. No, Kakao Talk. I was thinking about the word Annie and also saying the word Kakao Talk. So I said Kaki Talk. It's not a thing. It's time for News Bites. Yes, time for News Bites, and Annie's here with us in the studio. Hi, Annie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. I don't have any papers for News Bites, so I have no idea what you're going to be bringing us today.
Huh.
And,
작가님?
And I'm excited to hear all about it.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll make sure to lead you in.
Yeah, lead me in. Lead me in. Let's go for it. How was your weekend anyway?
I slept a ton.
Good.
I did not do any reading.
Oh.
I do want to mention a book I read.
Oh, yeah, tell us.
The last book I read was called Remarkably Bright Creatures, about an octopus and an old lady.
Uh-huh.
It's just very sweet.
I love that.
Because the book before that, I read Tenders of Flesh, which is about cannibalism.
Oh.
So I needed a little...
You needed something way less that.
And it was perfect.
Well, there we go. Have you ever seen the documentary on Dengflix, My Octopus Teacher?
No, but I heard it's very similar to this book that I read.
Yeah, see, like when you said it was about an octopus and 감사합니다 and a lady, I thought, yeah, that rings a little bell. You should watch it.
I definitely am. I'm kind of saving it for like a nice cozy day with a chai tea latte.
Yeah, it might really complement the book. Okay, and what would you say? Oh, Annie, what would you say those book choices say about your friendships?
극과 극.
Okay.
I got a dynamic group of friends, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
We don't need to dig deeper.
It's just a nice round,
Yeah.
happy ending there.
I think so. And moving on immediately. News Bites, September 4th. What do you have for us?
Right. So today, the 49th day of the passing of a young elementary school teacher in Seoul. And also, the commemorative rallies were held across the country. So they're kind of calling for this restoration of teaching rights. It was also dubbed the 공교육 멈춤의 날, or like public education pause day, or day that stops. So a number of schools had a half day and joint classes due to teachers taking leave, that was either annual leave or sick leave, to attend the rallies that took place across the country. And the Ministry of Education said it is focusing its efforts on protecting students' rights to learn and has therefore not counted the number of teachers exactly who took leave just yet. However, they stressed that there was no mass confusion in the schools whatsoever, which was a top concern ahead of today.
Right. Okay. So what did that look like here in Busan?
All right, so Busan does have some numbers. So Busan has a total of 9,369 elementary school teachers in total. And of them, 1,634 teachers, or 17.4%, took part in the rally today. The majority of these teachers were absent, that's 결근. However, the Busan City Office of Education announced that no elementary schools actually had to close for the day.
Right.
The Education Office also sent out 31 substitute teachers to 17 different schools, and schools only missing a few teachers, not everyone who left. The other teachers kind of covered for them through joint classes and group activities. And then many schools were said to have sent out notices to the parents in advance to notify that they will respect the teachers' decisions to participate, and in place they have specific activities that would take place.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, it's good that nothing was confusing. There was no mass confusion.
Right.
But also very important that they got to strike and that they got to demonstrate. I'm sure we'll have more numbers for
The world, not the world,
the
the
world,
country,
the
sorry.
world, the country pretty soon. So do keep us updated on that.
Very important movements.
Speaking of updates, we've got an update on the Busan bathhouse fire.
Right, I just wanted to squeeze this one in because I did talk about it on Friday. But on Saturday, the Busan Fire Department inspected the bathhouse that caught fire, which did cause injuries to 23 individuals. And they found that there was an oil mist in the air of the basement floor that caused the fire. So after a second inspection today, the fire officials said that they are focusing on this fuel tank that is expected to be the ignition point. So they're working to find out how exactly the oil mist occurred from this fuel tank, if it did occur from there. The owner has said that they had inspected the oil tank and the pipes the day before the fire, and also that the electricity had been turned off for 4 days prior. So the tank was not operating. The facilities were not replaced since it was installed back in 1990. So
Right.
that's the tank and everything.
Yeah.
And when they tried to replace it to like 도시가스 or gas valves, they were told that they couldn't because the area was a redevelopment designated area.
Right. Okay.
So they have to do some further investigations.
Yeah.
But that is where it is at the
Okay.
moment.
Well, thank you for that update. I get another update. We've got a little bit of political news next.
Yes, so Democratic Party leader Lee Jae-myung was scheduled to come in for questioning today in regards to the alleged transfer of $8 million by Sangbangul Group to North Korea on Lee's behalf when he was the governor of Gyeonggi Province. So the Suwon District Prosecutor's Office expressed regret and asked Lee to respond to the summons as soon as the scheduled questioning for today was canceled after his absence.
Now, you spoke to us last week with this news article or this news story that Lee Jae-myung was actually on hunger strike,
Yes.
right? So tell us a bit more about this situation.
Right, so this is the second time he has not attended a scheduled questioning summons, and there are further concerns that his current hunger strike will cause delays to future scheduling because he has to be there, and also his health.
Yeah.
When he was asked to come previously for today's questioning, officials said that it was not possible, but that he would attend between the 11th and the 15th, which is
Right.
next week. And the prosecutors are set to send another summons shortly.
Right, okay. So summons doesn't mean that he has to be there,
Right.
but he's been asked. He's
To
been
come in.
summoned, but
He technically should go.
he should, but he's not. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see. I'm sure they're going to continue to summon him and find out about that $8 million.
Definitely.
Final story for today.
Right. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has fired his defense minister, Alexei Reznikov. So he cited the need for, quote, new approaches. The war with Russia has entered its 19th month already. And Reznikov had served as defense minister since November 2021 and also previously served as deputy prime minister, according to his biography. But his recent removal comes in the wake of corruption scandals involving Ukraine's Ministry of Defense that had to do with like procurement of wartime supplies, a bit of corruption, criminal proceedings, fraud. But this doesn't necessarily mean that Reznikov himself was involved.
Right, okay, but he has been fired.
Right.
Who will replace him?
In place of Reznikov, the president has nominated Rustem Umerov, who is the former People's Deputy of Ukraine. He was also representing Ukraine in peace talks at the beginning of Russia's full-blown invasion. As for Reznikov, it was reported that he will be looking into some other positions with the president, and he will likely accept that position.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I can't even imagine how complex that whole situation is. And, you know, it's not uncommon for us to hear about scandals and things.
Right,
And
just tough that it's in the middle of a war.
in the middle of this conflict. So hopefully, I mean, we've said this for 19 months now. Hopefully this ends as quickly as possible. But, you know, same sentiments and just, anyway, very, very difficult times still
Right.
in Ukraine.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, right. But Annie, thank you as always for bringing us the updates and the news.
Yes.
Did you have a good Monday so far?
I'm a little buffery, but yeah.
A little buffery, yeah.
It's
we're
a
all,
Monday. It's a
we're
Monday
all
buffer.
laggy on a buffery.
I'll be back full force on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's when the real week starts.
Technically, yes.
Tuesday through Thursday, and then Friday and Monday are
'Cause
like.
I'm just revving the gear now.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, thank you, and we will see you tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Always when we fight.
All right, let me play you one of my favorite songs from back in the day. This is the Wannadies' "You and Me" song.
Forgotten. I know you hate that. Ba, ba, da, ba, 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 da, ba, 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 ba. Always when we fight, I kiss you once or twice, and everything's forgotten. I know you hate that. I love you Sunday sun. The week's not yet begun, and everything is quiet, and it's always you and me, always and forever. You and me, always and forever. Ba, 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 ba. It was always you and me, always. You tell me I'm a real man. Try to look impressed, not very convincing, but you know I love it. Then we watch TV till we fall asleep. Not very exciting, but it's you and me, and we'll always be together. You and me, always and forever. Ba, 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 ba. It was always you and me, always and forever. You and me, always and forever. Ba, 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 ba. It was always you and me, always and forever. You and me, always and forever. Ba, 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 ba.
How was that? That was a little you and me song by the Wannadies to take us to the halfway point of 6 p.m. The time is now 6:32 on the clock. Welcome to Inside Out Busan. I'm Laura McCluckey. Minsu's not with us. We miss him, but he's still on holiday, so we'll see him next week. In the meantime, 90.5, 103.3 FM. Welcome to BEFM. 부산영어방송입니다. 반갑습니다. It's Monday, September the 4th. And September the 4th be with you. It doesn't work. It only works with me. Nightmare. Nightmare. Today's topic that I asked you, what was the most recent book that you read? And what do you think it says about your friendships? We had a message from Sarang Donim saying, "Good morning, Laura." Good morning, Sarang Donim, but where is your message gone? Is it deleted? It's gone. I can't see it now. Where did it go? Also, Toking Nim texting in saying how to explain it very well. This book shares author's concept of flock of 5 black sheep values and how these non-negotiable points in life make us unique. Toking Nim. 네. What is the flock of 5 black sheep values? What was that? That's the first time I've ever heard of that. Andrew, do you know what that is? No, never heard of it. Interesting. So I'm very interested in that. I'd like to dig deeper into that. Okay, good. Ryu 선생님 saying The Alchemist. I've read it maybe 4 or 5 times. Meticulously read it. Highly recommend it. Yeah. Such a good book. Such a good book. I love that. So how about you? What is the most recent book that you have read? And what do you think it says about the friendships that you make? Because they say that the way we choose a book is very similar to the way we choose friends. And the books that we like are, echoed in the qualities of the friends that we like, the relationships that we have. Anywhom. Is it anywhom or anywho? Both. Let's look at the weather. Mercury level currently averaging 29 degrees Celsius. Morning lows of 24, afternoon highs of 30. No, why? Why are you going back up? No. Anyway, Busan will get more brighter conditions with the afternoon warmth. The morning and evening will be pleasantly cool thanks to the autumn breeze that's whipping in. But it'll still be very, very hot throughout the day. So please do make sure you drink lots of water and get shade whenever you can. 내일 부산은 맑겠습니다. 아침, 저녁 선선한 바람이 불겠습니다. 그래서 그거 즐기세요. I like that. I like waking up in the morning and thinking, it's cooling down. And then by the afternoon time, it's hot again, but still. Okay, let's look at the traffic on 구만덕로 from Mandok Junction going towards Mandok Second Tunnel. There's congestion. Also congestion on Hakkamdero from Sasangu Office Junction going towards Hakjang Junction. And then slow-moving traffic on Buam Overpass from Jinyan Junction going towards Yeonji three-way intersection. So everybody, please do drive safe. All right, now it's time for the IOB 5분 상식. Yes, time for the IOB 5분 상식, getting you in the know of some of the most useful, trending, and need-to-know words and expressions in the world. 5분만 들으면 유식해지는 시간이죠. So let's get into it. What are we going to read about today? It's Intellectual Property Day. So let's explore the concept of intellectual property rights. 지식재산권은 무엇일까요?
You know, I'm the famous photographer, but I can't believe they stole my Rabbit Island picture. The uninhabited island's located near Jeju Island. It's a masterpiece, and they just took it without my permission.
Now calm down, sir. I am your lawyer, Laura the lawyer. 지식재산권, intellectual property rights can be tricky, especially when it comes to natural scenery.
What's 지식재산권? 재산권?
Yes.
It's mine. I captured the breathtaking shot and posted it on the internet. It's my work, my art. And did you see the white rabbit in the picture?
Yeah.
It's me. I dressed up as a rabbit for the shot.
What?
I even had bunny ears.
What? Is this you? Is this you, bunny ears? Really? Well, maybe they thought you were a rabbit impersonator and not a photographer.
That's not the point. They used my picture on TV without permission. It's my picture.
Oh, okay. Now, in cases like this, it's not about permission, but rather the nature of the subject. Natural landscapes are generally considered part of the public domain, allowing use without infringing on IP, 지식재산권 rights.
So I can't do anything about it?
Well, maybe you could just switch careers and become the official rabbit of Rabbit Island, the Rabbit Island photographer, or a rabbit impersonator.
Rabbit! Rabbit!
Oh, yeah.
I'm rabbit now.
Rabbits. I thought I'd play like an actual song, you know, because we're talking about intellectual property rights. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to play like an actual property of
Yeah.
someone else. May as well. Yes, intellectual property rights, or in Korean, I mean, to shorten it, not in Korean, we say IP, but today is Intellectual Property Day. 오늘이 지식재산의 날입니다. So some people say 지적재산권, and some people say 지식재산권. So the question is, which term is correct between 지적재산권 and 지식재산권?
It's a lot of 재산권s.
There's a lot
All
of
right,
재산권.
so in English, both terms are intellectual property rights. Now, in Korea, it is predominantly referred to using the English abbreviation IP. All right, now notably, the term 지적 재산권 was more commonly used in Korea, but since 2011, it has been standardized as 지식 재산권. Now, with the inception of the Presidential Council of Intellectual Property replacing the former term, which had its roots in Japanese translation.
Roger that. So what does intellectual property rights actually mean, and why does Korea specifically celebrate it on September 4th?
You didn't get that from the rabbits? Okay, all right, I'll go into it here. So, intellectual property is set for intangible assets that are legally protected and owned by a company or an individual, and it includes trademarks, patents, industrial designs, and copyrights. Now, Intellectual Property Day became a national legal anniversary in 2018. It's observed on September 4th because this date marks a significant historical milestone in Korea, the Jikji Shinche Yojol. Now, the earliest known book printed with movable metal type was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Very, very cool indeed. So today, talking for IOB's 오분 상식, intellectual property rights, 지식재산권, 네, 표현물이나 발명품 등 지식재산에 대한 권리입니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다.
김대리, 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 그 라디오라도 좀.
그래, 라디오.
네가 저번 주에 오신 참인 것 같네.
22번 홀려면
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
It's the Monday Riddler!
What?
Yes. In the flesh.
Here?
In the flesh.
오랜만입니다.
From rabbits to riddlers.
From rabbits to riddlers. At least it's
We're all
not
over the
rabies
map.
to riddlers.
I said a rabbit.
A rabid
Yeah.
rabbit.
So,
Yeah.
interesting
Anyway.
question. Your text topic today about books.
Yeah.
The last book I read was about research methods in quantitative and qualitative design.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
I just want to punch that in the face. Oh, I'm not allowed to say things like that. That's really inappropriate of me. I'm sorry. I do apologise for that. I don't mean that. But what I mean by that is a very Scottish expression for I don't want to read that.
Yeah, no, totally.
So I want to trash that.
Yeah.
Or
And for people wondering, that's not the first time Laura's ever said that to me. So it's totally fine.
No, I would never incite violence on people or humans or anything living or sentient or plants or anything. But like a book,
Yeah.
I'd happily just,
You know, when they have those
Hulk it.
burn the books,
I'll hulk it.
fire that one in there.
Tell you why, because I have to do the same kind of thing, right?
It's rough. It's
Yeah.
rough. But, that was for a class. That class is done, and I'm not really looking at that again.
Yeah, but I mean
Movie.
that's all that I need to study is just like research methods, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I
But-
really loved learning, but I don't like.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, very, very different. Now, we are here for riddles and some brain teasers and things like
Yeah.
that. Now, I'm curious. I know you do listen very religiously when you're not in the studio. And last week you were still under the weather. You weren't here. And we had some messages. I believe it was on the board. Cosnim said, ooh, does this mean we're going to struggle with the riddles tonight because you weren't here last week and it was only Mintu? And Mintu did very well last week. I think he got about 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 9, something like that. It was pretty good. But the fact that we had listeners worrying about Minsu because
Yeah.
you weren't here was very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
No, it's like I only get it because I'm looking at Minsu and I'm able to like focus in. I steal his knowledge through my eyes. It's like telepathy. I absorb it, osmosis. And but it's just the luck of the draw. It's just the luck of how
Well, yeah,
you can
sometimes
get
it just comes to you. And
Yeah.
it's boom, you got it. So let's get to it.
Okay.
We don't have as much time because we always like to ramble on.
Listeners,
All right.
play along at home. Tell us the riddles and the answers. Text us in. Okay.
A couple get us going kind of ones,
Yeah.
warm-ups. What connects two people but touches only one?
What connects two people but touches only one?
Yes.
Oh, the other person's finger.
Hey, keep your finger out of my nose. All right. So think about things that we may do, rites of passage, these kind of things, and you possibly might get something that is going to connect you to another person, but it only touches that individual.
Wedding ring.
There you go. Look at Laura. Off to the races, we'll say, people.
Off to the races.
Doesn't want to punch anyone in the face with that
I
one.
know. I need a hat. But you know what? Like, that's a very common expression, right?
Yes.
Yeah, slaps me in the face, punch me in
Yeah,
the face.
there you go.
Anyway,
All right, just toss it right in there.
just FYI.
All right, next one. What has 6 faces? I'm not talking about some of our friends. And 21 eyes.
정답.
Oh, this was way too fast.
Dice.
Okay, sure, yes. Or
Yeah.
a die, just one,
Die.
I guess. So a dice?
Yeah.
It has 6 sides or 6 faces.
Yeah.
That's something people might not know. It is called the face of a dice,
Yeah.
each side. Some people just say the side of a dice, right?
Yeah, imagine what Minsu would be doing right now if he was here. He'd be like, oh, 6 faces and 21. Is it like
Something from Game of Thrones?
A mythological creature?
Yes.
Like, what about in Greek mythology? Is there like the Demogorgons and the Dementors?
I love
That
it.
would be
I love
Minsu.
it. Ah.
Minsu, we miss you.
I love Costume chiming in. Dare I make a comment about our lineup for the Riddler this week? Nah, don't worry about it. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. Moving on. When you need me, you throw me away. But when you're done with me, you bring me back.
Ooh.
What am I?
When you need me, you throw me away. But when you're done with me,
You bring me back.
flushing the toilet.
Oh, the water and it comes back?
Yeah.
No,
No?
that's not it. That's not it.
Okay, when you need me, you throw me away.
Yes.
But when you're done with me, you bring me back.
So I'll give you a little hint. It's not a concept or anything like that.
It's an actual thing.
It's an object, yes.
Okay.
So I mean, think of an object that we throw or toss. Maybe you might. I'm not sure the phrase that you. I'm trying to think which we would say more. Toss the or throw the and then you need to bring it back
Yeah.
or bring me back. So it might actually mean bring me up. You
So
could say.
Cosnim has got it.
Ooh.
The bin on garbage day.
No, but that's a good one. It's not it though.
Cosnim, that's what I was going to say as well.
Yeah.
That's what it was. The wheelie bin.
Actually, when I first saw this, because where I get a lot of the riddles, I had to click. Sorry, I make these up every day.
Yeah,
I had to click on the answer. I usually try to think of it myself first, and I did think of a garbage can as well, but it's not.
What is it?
Think about you're not on land when you use this.
Where are you?
You're on the water.
Like, how often? Who's living on the water? Okay. Life ring.
No.
What? When you need me, you throw me away. You throw a life ring into the ocean, but when
Yes.
you're done, you bring it back. Well, you're not exactly done when you bring it back. Okay. A fishing rod.
No.
A net.
Think about something you need to stay in one place when you're on a
an
boat.
anchor.
An anchor. There you go. Yes, an anchor. I love the cost of the bin on the garbage. Yeah. No.
That's
yeah.
what I
An
was thinking.
anchor. Yes. Think you
Yeah.
throw it away when you need me.
Yeah.
And then when you're done, you bring me back. Okay, or bring me up. I guess if they would have said that, it would have been different. But anyway, next one here. This is be a quick one, and I think hopefully some of our listeners might be able to chime in real quick with this. What tastes better than it smells?
A human.
Well, you're actually talking about actually eating a human.
No.
Oh my goodness. Punches in the face
No.
and eating people.
No.
Somebody.
No cannibalism. Humans taste better than they smell. Their sense of taste is better than their sense of smell.
Okay, but what do we use for our sense of taste?
Our mouth,
Come on.
tongue.
There you go. Yes. A tongue tastes better than it smells.
In more ways than one.
There you go.
Well, I don't know. I've had ox tongue before.
I was just going to I was going to ask you that question. How
but
did
I
you
think it smelled just as good. Durian, Cosnim durian. Does it though?
Fair enough.
Does it taste better than it smells? Or when you open your mouth to chew and then you get like the smell
Yeah.
of hot garbage?
Yeah, I've only had it a couple times, and I think I had it the first time after I had a few drinks on the beach in Thailand, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't bad." And then the second time I had it, it was like a whole new experience because I didn't really get the full taste the first time.
That's how I managed to eat copious amounts of raw squid
Ooh,
back in my PNU days.
yeah, interesting. All right, moving on here. We got one more, and then we're gonna get into a couple, not longer ones, but ones that are gonna make us think.
What do you mean? My brain is already... Okay, let's go.
What animal turns about 200 times around its axis after it dies?
Eh?
I like that. That's a good. So what animal? Think about possibly before we eat this animal.
A rotisserie chicken.
There you go. A roasted chicken, a rotisserie chicken. Spinning around.
By the way, the most delicious kind of chicken, in my opinion.
It is, it was really funny when I had some friends visit Korea and we went to the Sajikyagujeong
Yeah.
first time. And I said, oh, we got to grab some food before we go in. And of course, they didn't realize that you could bring stuff into the stadium. And I
Yeah.
grabbed that, and then they gave the little package of salt with it. And they're like, what is this for? And I said, oh, you're in for a treat.
Oh,
and then
so good.
after that, they're just like, are these things on the street places that we can just get it? I'm like, you got to search for them. You got to know where they're at. But yeah, you
Sajik
can.
Stadium, there's always, from the subway to the Sajik Stadium,
yeah, there's a
that
couple,
walk,
yeah.
there's always some really
Yeah.
good rotisserie chicken.
Oh, it's fantastic.
My husband doesn't like that chicken. See, when it comes outside our apartments, I'm so excited, and he's like, meh. Fine, I'll eat it all.
I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. All right, moving forward here.
Yes.
All right. A couple goes on a camping trip, but only the husband returns. He claims that his wife fell off a cliff and died. When the detective gets in touch with the travel agent, he immediately arrests the husband. Why? Dun dun dun.
You brought this one before, didn't you?
No, there's a different one.
Different one?
But
Oh, okay.
similar, yes.
Similar.
Maybe I use the same voice. That's why.
No, that you've
Law and Order,
always-
SVU.
Dun 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 dun. It's always the same voice. By the way, 토킹님 said, 앤드류 사진 작가님 진짜 억울한 듯. The photographer seems to be angry and bitter. Lol.
Oh,
That
yes.
was his angry and bitter voice. A couple goes on a camping trip, but only the husband returns. He claims that his wife fell off a cliff and died. When the detective gets in touch with the travel agent, he immediately arrests the husband. Why? Well, why are they camping on a cliff?
Well, I mean, they went on vacation apparently, so that's where they are.
Okay.
Now think about, when you go on vacation.
Why are they going on a travel agent? Why are they using a travel agent to go camping?
Well, I don't know. They went on a camping trip.
Who contacts a travel agent to go camping?
What if you went camping in Switzerland
Okay, fair enough.
or the igloos in Finland?
Ooh, that's what I want.
There you go. Now we got some ideas moving here.
I don't know. Okay. When the detective gets in touch with the travel agent, he immediately arrests the husband. Why?
Well, think about before you go on a trip, what do you have to do? If you're going to fly.
Passport, insurance, tickets.
Tickets. All right. So the husband had to book tickets. This is your hint.
So he'd only booked one ticket?
No. The travel agent reveals how the husband only booked a one-way ticket for his wife, whereas he booked a return ticket for himself.
So this isn't a riddle.
Wow.
This is just you
it's a
asking
brain
me
teaser.
why?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Let's do one more before
One more.
we go. Yeah.
Real quick one.
Yeah.
All right. You buy me to eat, but you never eat me. What am I?
Oh, like 70% of what's in my fridge.
Or 70% of what I just threw out of my fridge because I
Yeah.
got a new one.
things that go moldy in there, and you're like, hey, little buddy, I didn't know you could grow things.
Yeah, sour cream containers. Those things should never be opened
They
after a month.
multiply. They're full again within
Yeah.
a short space of time. You buy me to eat, but you never eat me. What am I?
Anybody trying to help you here? Ooh, costume.
Cost name. Why are you so smart, brah? Kitchenware.
It is plates and bowls.
Plates and bowls.
Yeah, kitchenware. But I like
Forks.
kitchenware actually because it covers everything.
Forks, chopstick.
There you go. I bet-
Cost name. You're the new Laura.
Yeah.
And I have turned into the Minsu. It's something about this chair. I'm now the Minsu.
I love it. I love it.
I don't
Fantastic. Yeah, you got to get back on the other side of the table.
Andrew, it's always a great time having you in the studio, even if it does itch my brain.
Hey, just keep it back with the violence.
But isn't that funny, right?
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
all right.
Cost name says, honestly, last week Minsu smashed me. No, really?
They did a good job.
I love it.
Did a
I
very good
love
job.
it. I love it. Andrew, we'll see you same time next week with more Monday Riddler. Until then, have a wonderful week and try and stay cool in this heat because it's getting hotter again.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I love it. But anyway, that's where we are. All right.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you
you
later.
there.
Thanks, Andrew. All right. Time for us to say goodbye for the first half of the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back at 7 o'clock with, of course, our number 2. In the meantime, this is Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz.
Santa's breaking down on a camel's back. They just have to go 'cause they don't know where. So all you feel the streets is appealing to see. You won't get undercounted 'cause you're not that free. You got a new horizon, it's ephemeral style. A melancholy town where we never smile. And all lining them up like ass crack. Play these ponies at the track. It's my chocolate attack. Shit, I'm stepping in harder this year. Yeah, been repping in harder this year. Watch me as I gravitate. Ha 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 ha. We gon' ghost town, this Motown with your sound. You in the blink, gon' bite the dust, can't fight with us. With your sound, you kill the ink. So don't stop, get it, until you chat ahead and watch the way I navigate. Ha 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 ha.
70 years ago, Busan was the provisional capital of a war-torn Korea. But thanks to the international community, we emerged into an economic powerhouse embracing technology and industries. And now we wish to return the favor. The world now faces critical transitions stemming from digital inequity, food insecurity, climate change, and the pandemic. Sharing our unique journey of overcoming post-war poverty, we will put our heads together and move towards progress. Busan is now the model city of the fourth industrial revolution and smart city infrastructure. Looking ahead to 2030, Busan is prepared to attract the World Expo.
부산은 준비됐습니다.
부산 나 상상 부산 준비하라
부산 준비됐지?
Busan is ready. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
안녕하세요. 운동 유튜버 심으뜸입니다. 요즘 친환경에 필요한 게 뭔지 아세요? 바로 내 몸.
밖에선 한정거장 거리 정도는 걷기. 유산소 운동 효과에 탄소 배출 감소 효과까지. 안에선 안 쓰는 플러그 뽑기 스쿼트. 하체 근력 강화 효과에 기후변화 방지 효과까지.
어때요? 효과 확실하죠? 몸 좀 움직였을 뿐인데 건강도 아끼고 환경도 아끼고 친환경 피지컬 함께 시작해볼까요?
공익광고 협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다. 로라 민수의 인사이드 아웃 부산.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the second hour of Inside Out Busan, 7 o'clock on the dot, Monday, the 4th of September. Welcome to the show. I'm Laura McLucky, and you're going to be with me, or I'm going to be with you for the next hour. So buckle up, Buttercup. We're in for a bumpy ride. I don't know why I said that. That's not true. This is the relaxed hour. We've got Miriam texting in on the Kakao Talk message saying, I'm in a relationship right now, and the book that I'm reading is about a serial killer, which makes me cool down a little bit. Miriam. What do you mean? It makes you cool down a little bit. So it makes you relax a little bit? Or it makes you feel, because a lot of people read and watch horrors or like scary movies or scary books, etc. in the summertime because it cools you down, right? Interesting. But does it cool you down in your relationship? I don't know. I'm interested. You can get in touch, let me know. What is the most recent book that you read? And what do you think it says about the friends that you choose? Let me know. Get in touch. Anyway, it's time for On the Mic. This is where our reporters head out and they interview you, our lovely citizens. So let's see who's on the mic today.
All right, today we're going to talk to someone and find out about their life. Let's get to know them. Hi, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, yeah, my name is Peter.
All right, and tell us where are you from and what brings you to Korea?
I'm originally from Iowa. I currently live in Chicago in the US, and I'm in Korea to have my son.
Is this your first time in Korea, and what made you decide to have your son in Korea?
No, it's not my first time in Korea. I lived here for about 7 years from 2008 to 2015. I previously taught in Seoul. My wife is from Korea, and so we wanted to come back here to have our baby to be with her family.
Wow. All right. So tell us, when did you guys arrive in Korea, and when was the baby born?
We came here mid-June, and our son was born on July 16th, so just over a month after we got back.
Wow. Okay. And tell us about having the baby in Korea. How was this, and how would it maybe compare to having a baby in America?
It was fantastic. We were treated extremely well. The care was wonderful. We were at a university hospital. They took amazing care of my wife. We were allowed, I think, to stay at the hospital for longer. We ended up staying 5 days, which in my understanding is significantly longer than most mothers stay in the hospital in the US. So definitely got extended care. After the hospital, we moved to a Joriwan, a post-care facility, which is really not common in the US at all. So having that extra care, they helped take care of our son in those early days, as well as providing a lot of education for us on feeding and bathing and general care, which made us feel more comfortable and confident when it was time for us to take him home.
Is there even like a Joriwan site type of system in America that you know of?
Not that I know of. I imagine there must be something that exists somewhere, but my understanding is if they do exist, they are not in any way common at all. In fact, anyone that I've told about it is very surprised to hear about it and very interested, and I think people would love to have it in the US, but my understanding, they don't really exist.
Okay, so you've been here now for a month and a half raising your son. How is it being back in Korea after all these years?
I love it. I've missed it so much. After leaving, I've only been able to visit once and not for very long. And so to have been able to come back and spend several months here and get to really enjoy the food and the people and the city, as well as the heat. But it's been wonderful. I really missed it.
And what are some of the things you're doing to enjoy your time while you're back here, besides raise your son?
I've been fortunate to find a Korean language class to take while I'm here. So I started a 10-week course just after arriving, and I actually have my final exam today. So I've been very happy to be able to improve my Korean language skills. Also, I quite love adventure. I've been a long-time climber, and so I've spent a lot of time at the local rock climbing gyms.
Wow, great. So 오늘 시험 있어요. 잘 할 거예요? 합격할 거예요? Are you going to pass your test?
이 실험 안 어려워요. 괜찮아. Very basic.
Okay.
It's level 1. I'm in the level 1 class.
That's all right.
And my speaking is definitely my worst. I feel like my reading has improved a lot, listening getting better, but my speaking, I definitely lack confidence.
And so you're married to a Korean woman, right? And tell us, what did you guys choose to name your son?
His name is Hari.
And is that a Korean name?
Kind of. Kind of. I think we wanted a name that could work well both in Korean and English. And my family has some Welsh heritage, and we saw that there's a kind of a Welsh version of Harry, which is Hari, and we thought that would work well in Korean and kind of a nod to that Welsh heritage as well.
That's awesome. Well, I'm happy to see you back in Korea, and thank you for sharing your story and telling us about your son as well. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thanks, Tegan.
Well, thank you so much, Tegan, for that lovely interview, and also to Peter and your lovely wife and your lovely baby Hattie. I love that so much. I understand exactly what you're talking about. Now, Peter said he was visiting Korea with his wife because they want to have their baby, or they wanted to have their baby here. And he said it was so fantastic because of the medical care here in Korea. And additionally, of course, he's enjoying taking Korean classes. And I just think, honestly, compared to my friend's experience, because I've only ever had children in Korea. I've got 2 children, and my experience of the Korean medical system has been exactly the same kind of positive experience that Peter and his wife have experienced in terms of birth. Now, I know that everyone's experience is different, everyone's experience is subjective, and everyone's experience is valid and how that has affected everybody. But for me personally, my birth experience, when I compare it to how people are able to go through a birth journey and a pregnancy journey in Scotland. For example, here you get an ultrasound every time you go to the hospital, and pictures. And in Scotland, you get an ultrasound only if they think there's something wrong. So I got to see my baby growing up on screen every single week. And then my friend in Scotland who was pregnant, you hear, you don't see anything unless you have to schedule it, or unless you go private, right? So there's just so many differences, but I think Korea, like Peter said, it's a fantastic way to, start the journey of their new family. So congratulations. What a lovely interview. And of course, it was in absolutely fluent English, so I don't need to dig too deep into the recap as well, which is also nice. All right. It's time for me to say cheerio to On the Mic. We'll be back with more of that tomorrow. But I do want to bring you a song. This is Lenny Kravitz, Fly Away.
I wish that I could fly into the sky so very high, just like a dragonfly. I'd fly above the trees, over the seas, in all degrees, to anywhere I please. Oh, I want to get away. I want to fly. Yeah.
Oh, welcome back to the show, everybody. Thank you for joining us here. It's now 7:12 on the clock. You're tuned into Inside Out Busan with me, Laura McCluckey. I am here, well, I'm here with you every single day, but I'm here for the next 43 minutes. What? Time flies when you're having fun. 작가님, 혹시, do we do the news? And I mean the traffic and the weather, because I have nothing at the moment. Where's my traffic and weather script? 작가님, is it a Monday? Is that why? Oh dear. I'm going to tell you about the traffic and the weather very soon. But in the meantime, get onto our YouTube, find us and give us your messages. Thank you, 작가님. Find us and give us your messages about the book that you read most recently and how you think it reflects the way that you choose your friendship. So, for example, they say that autumn is a season and autumn's coming in, even though it doesn't feel like autumn's coming in. But that little autumn wind is kind of coming in saying, hey, I'm coming. Like, not in a creepy way, but like a, inspiring way. And so that means it's kind of the season for reading, snuggling up with a good book, learning something new, changing our outlook on something. But they say that the choices that you make in your reading list are also similar to the way that you make choices in your friendships. So what do you think about that? Now, I read and I read this book quite regularly, at least probably twice a year, Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. So it's such a cliche, right? But I really love that book. And so that says to me that I like my friends who are thoughtful, courageous, imaginative, friends who are, I don't know, hardworking and loyal and forward-thinking and also believe in a little bit of magic. And so that's what I think my friends are. We had Dr. Liu texting in on the YouTube saying Harry Potter. Harry Potter is his favorite of all time. So what does that say about his friendship choices? Loyal? Magic? British? You never know. You never know. But that's what they say anyway. So how about you? What was the last book you read? And what do you think it says about how you enjoy your friendships as well? Get in touch. Send me a little text message. #9050 샵9050. Text messages will cost you 100 won, or you can text me in via Kakao Talk, which is absolutely free of charge. And you can also find us over on YouTube. Search for BEFM or 부산영어방송. And you can see my face and my questionable fashion choices. You can also see our next guest, Bonnie, who's sitting quietly in the studio because she's coming up next, but her mic's not on yet. So you can just give her a wave, although she can't see you because, YouTube is one way. But still, imagine it's two-way. Let's take a look at the weather. It's currently averaging 29 degrees Celsius. Morning lows of 24 tomorrow morning. Afternoon highs of 30. Doesn't feel like autumn, however. It will be sunny all day tomorrow in Busan. Cloudy gradually from the evening time. Now, temperature-wise, most of us will have much more comfortable overnight temperatures, but highs tomorrow will go up to the 30s in the afternoon. The morning time and the night time will drop down to around 24 degrees, so it'll be nice and cool, which means also no more tropical night syndrome. 시원하겠다. 좋습니다. 부산은 내일 맑지만 저녁부터는 차차 흐려지겠습니다. 근데 내일 엄청 덥겠어요. 그래서 조심하세요. 주의하세요, 여러분. Let's look at the traffic on. There's some congestion on 관문대로 from Samnak Interchange going towards Baekyang Tunnel. Also 수영로 from Gwangan Junction going towards Suyong Junction. There's congestion over there as well. Over on 대교로 from Busan Daegyo going towards Bongnae Junction. There's some slow-moving traffic as well. So wherever you are out on the roads, everybody please do drive safe. Okay, it's 7:17. I have rambled for way too long. Now it's time for a very differently placed me time. Yeah, so this is the BG that I love. And actually, because Minsu's not here, we have got a brand new reporter to cover me time. It's Bonnie. Welcome. Hi, Bonnie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good, good, good. It's lovely to see you. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you've got your Save the Mermaids t-shirt on.
Of course, of course.
So can you give our listeners a little self-introduction and tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. My name is Bonnie, and I work with Save the Mermaids, which originated in California about 12 years ago, but just came to Busan about 2 years ago. And we do a lot of beach cleanups, a lot of sustainability, focused education, just making people aware of human-made pollution and what we can do to make it better.
Yeah. So you're like, love the earth.
Love the earth.
Clean
love
the earth.
love the ocean.
Love
Get
yourself.
out there. Yeah, of course.
Love yourself. And so you're taking over this Me Time segment. Now, our listeners, if you're a regular listener, you'll know that this is a segment I usually do on a Wednesday. However, because people are on vacation and here and there, we've switched it up. So we're doing it today on Monday, and it's not even me that's doing it. So today, Me Time, Bonnie, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about health and wellness and the benefits from nature and our surrounding environment.
I see.
What does being in nature do for us?
I was in nature today.
Really?
I was in Kumgang Gongwon. I went up to Gungang Park, and it was really hot actually, but it was so nice. And they have created even more of these red clay grounding paths, walking paths. So I had my shoes off, I had my feet in the mud. It was really nice.
Oh my gosh. It feels like a kid again, right?
Yeah.
It's
And
fun.
It really does. It's like kids do that so naturally, right? But it was so nice. So tell us more about it.
So today, I know most people kind of know the benefits of being in nature, grateful mindfulness, detaching from busy city life, getting fresh air. But I wanted to touch on some of the actual science behind it.
Yes.
It's not just a feel-good activity, but also really good for your health. It's as beneficial as taking vitamins or going to the doctor for a checkup.
Well, we don't think about that. And something that I've noticed as well, that Korean people specifically are so surrounded by things that are so wellness related, like things that are so good for their well-being, their me time. But because it's so much part of the culture, it doesn't seem like it's anything special.
Yeah, and more research is coming out, though, that we need to be out in nature because our health, our mental health especially, is having a real toll on us. People are really stressed out. People are really concerned with judgments of other people and all this stuff. And it's really taking a toll on our health, actually. So being outside, and specifically I want to talk about grounding, what you just talked about, putting your feet, having any kind of skin contact on the earth, like walking barefoot outside or just laying down in the grass, has so many great benefits for us.
Yeah, I was on the internet. That's such an old person thing to say. I was on the internet. I was looking at a Reels video, and this guy was talking about how grounding is so important. And he'd gone to a beach, and he covered himself in beach mud, and he was naked, and he had like big stones covering his private parts, and he was just talking about the benefits of grounding, covering himself in all of this dirt and letting the ocean swoosh over him. But it's so good for so many reasons, right?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't only just feel good. I think, when you're an adult, you don't get a chance to really do that often.
Right.
So we were talking about, it kind of makes you feel like a kid again. So it makes you feel happy in that sense. But really, scientifically, medically, there are all these other benefits that are proven, like it regulates your internal clock, so it helps with your sleep. It activates that parasympathetic nervous system, reduces your stress, stabilizes your cortisol levels, reduces inflammation. Some cases even said that it helps speed up wound healing.
That's nuts,
Isn't
right?
that interesting?
But I think that is so interesting, but I think it's true because have you ever done this? You've had a cut on your leg or your arm or something, and then you've gone to the beach and you've gone in the ocean, and it's kind of stung a little bit because you're like, oh, I've got this open wound. But then the next day when you wake up, it's it's more healed.
Oh, all the time. I always feel like even my feet, this is kind of gross, but we usually have our feet inside shoes. In the summertime, we're sweating all the time. You get like calluses and stuff, I love walking on the beach on the sand. I feel like it's like exfoliation.
Yeah.
And if I'm at the beach a lot in the summer, I feel like my skin's just smoother. It just feels better. I
Yeah.
don't have like, a lot of kids here have eczema, or a lot of people have some sort of like skin stuff. But being out in nature, like going into the ocean, I feel like kind of heals all of that on its own.
It does. It really does. That's so interesting that you say that as well. And there's so much science to this backing, right? But what's the general consensus in terms of how much nature do we need per day?
Well, this is from the National Institute of Health, so it's not just me saying it. I got a little backing.
Bonnie
I got a little
says.
backing. But it says you should do it for at least 30 minutes a day for those internal benefits to happen. And then if you want sustainable changes for your health, about an hour. An hour a day.
Okay, so you want to be out grounding bare feet in nature an hour a day.
Or roll around in the mud, however you want to do it.
Get in the ocean. Okay, so speaking about, because I know that Save the Mermaids is about ocean, specifically ocean health and sustainability. So we're going to tie that into your me time today. So how we can, get involved with looking after ourselves by being with the ocean. So tell us about that.
Well, I want to talk about this thing called positive and negative ions. So most of us spend a lot of time indoors, whether you're at the office, at work, or at home. But wherever you are, we're constantly surrounded by electronics.
Yeah.
So TVs, phones, tablets, computers, or even in your house, the AC system, and even fluorescent lights, all of these things emit positively charged ions.
Right.
So research shows long time, constant exposure to these ions actually can contribute to fatigue, depression, anxiety, headaches, even poor concentration.
Do you know what? See, when my son barely gets his phone. So his phone is for communicating with mum and dad in case of emergency. He's not supposed to play games. But when he does get the odd 20 minutes, I notice that he goes from a super happy-go-lucky, kind, like communicative young guy, just happy little guy, to when the phone time, he's quite okay with giving the phone back and saying, okay, and he'd give it back, but then he seems agitated.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're inside all day, especially during that time, some of you guys did work from home during Corona a lot. People were kind of going cuckoo.
Yeah.
Like you're inside and if you're on the computer for a long time, you notice your eyes start to hurt. Sometimes you get headaches.
My body gets itchy and fidgety.
Yeah. So all these, positive ions coming towards us, we're kind of absorbing them all the time.
Yeah.
So obviously the opposite of positive ions is negative ions. So these have the opposite effect.
Right.
So these have been shown to increase energy, increase serotonin, boost your immune system, improve concentration, and actually even reduce reactions to airborne allergens, dust, viruses, and bacteria. And the best thing, it boosts your mood and alleviates depression. So where do you get all these negative ions? Dun, 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 dun. Nature.
Of course, because we're talking about nature.
Yes.
So if nature wasn't the answer, I'd be like, Bonnie, come on.
Trying to trick you guys, man. But we inhale all these ions when we're around the ocean, mountains, forests, waterfalls. You notice when you're at the beach and you just take a big inhale, you just have to feel better.
Good.
Feel calm.
Yeah.
It's not some like woo-woo thing. There's actually the science behind it.
And I know that negative ions actually in the air, because they float around in the air, and these are tiny little particles, so we can't, but sometimes we can feel it or see it in our, like, I don't know, in the ocean mist, I guess. But they snap onto free radicals as well in the air, and they drop them onto the sand. So any free radicals that are flying around, and I used to think that was the name of a band, but it's not. It's not.
Could be.
I think it might be, but it's not the same thing. So any free radicals that are flying around, and free radicals are basically just little, I don't know, what would you call them? Little components of, I don't know, little atom type things that are very bad for your health. And these negative ions attach to them, and because they're heavy, they kind of drag them out from being floating in the air, so you can't absorb them. It's just, nature is so smart.
Yeah, nature has the answer to everything, really, I feel like.
So where do we get these ions the most?
So anywhere out, so anytime you're particularly like around moving water. So even rivers or like any sort of stream or creek. I know in Korea a lot of times because it's hot, a lot of people in the city escape to the creeks, and it makes everybody feel better.
Yeah.
And being in the natural environment also, it gets you more active. You know, people move around, you're going on hikes. So that also releases endorphins, promotes overall health, so you just feel better. And this can also enhance your creativity. It reduces your cognitive fatigue. It improves focus, mental clarity. So good, not just for adults, but also kids.
Yeah.
Get your kids outside.
Especially kids. And, you know, as the heat, the weather is, and well, I say that, you know, it's going to be 30 tomorrow afternoon, but as the weather starts to hopefully cool off and the mornings and the evenings become much cooler and then the days slowly become much cooler and the sipki, what is sipki in English? Humidity is also slowly, although it didn't feel like it today, but slowly disappearing. It's a great time to get into nature.
Yeah.
Get up the mountains, get to those creeks and those rivers, and it's really good. I mean, that is me time in itself because you're taking your time away from those digital devices and you're spending it in nature, which is where we kind of, you know, humans were meant to be.
Yeah, I mean, in Korea, that's why they call it healing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it really does heal
It does.
your body,
Yeah.
your mind, your soul, everything.
Yeah. And so I want to touch on, because obviously this is the first time you've come in to do me time. But in terms of, you know, being in nature as being kind of a key point of how you can boost your well-being and enjoy that me time, Save the Mermaids does a lot of different things, specifically around ocean protection, that are considered doing things for the environment.
Yes.
But when we do something for the environment, we're doing it for ourselves.
Oh, yeah. And
Right?
I think we kind of forget that. So Save the Mermaids, our whole philosophy, yes, we're all about ocean protection and environmentalism and advocacy, but the way that we get there is that we really want people to be outside and enjoy nature.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to be there being like, don't use plastic, don't litter. Like, although I do that sometimes.
Yeah, you make kids pick up trash off the beach. I've seen it. I've done it.
I give them something in return, you know. A little bribery here and there doesn't hurt. But I mean, I do that, but we believe the way that people change organically, like sustainable change, the way that happens is to get people outside into the environment and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So once people actually get outside, they establish a relationship with nature, they kind of connect with it, then they naturally become more aware of how to take care of it.
Yeah.
Because they've established this, oh my gosh, nature's so awesome. Nature's great. It does this for me. And then, but I'm using this tumbler or this plastic cup and I'm doing this single waste and I see this piece of litter. You know, I hear a lot from people that do these beach cleanups with us. They're like, I never noticed this trash on the beach before. But after learning a little bit and then doing this beach cleanup, I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and I pick a couple pieces up before I leave the beach.
Yeah.
So that's the change that we're trying to make.
See, when we've gone and picked up trash and everything. Now, I know there's a lot of exercises that Save the Mermaids does, that your organization does, for kids to, like you said, organically understand the value. But also, it might be a little bit difficult to understand because a lot of ocean stuff looks like trash. So like old stinky seaweed or like old wood or rocks or like shells and stuff. And I love, there's one exercise that you do and you ask the kids, is this from the ocean? Is this a nature-made thing, whatever it looks like? Or is this man-made? And what's the point of that? What is that?
Well, just like you said, kids just love picking everything up.
Yeah.
So when we do beach cleanups, we get a lot of things that actually should remain on the beach that will decompose naturally.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bringing them back to the foundational things of what did we make? What did man made things? Like what's plastic? So we go through all the different kinds of materials, you know, metal, paper, plastic, and then we talk about where those things came from.
Yeah.
And then if those things can return back to the earth. So for example, like an apple core, if you throw it out, you know, in 5 months, you'll come back and it won't be there anymore.
Yeah, dog ate it.
to somebody.
Somebody is it.
Or it'll just decompose.
Yeah.
It'll turn back into the earth. But if I throw my plastic water bottle out somewhere and I come back 5 months, it'll still be there.
It'll still be there.
I'll come back in 5 years. It'll still be there. 50 years, it'll still be there.
Yeah, and so basically, like, and I love this idea, and I think that this is something that I also really subscribe to. When we take care of ourselves, we then just automatically take more care of the earth. And when we take more care of the earth, we're taking care of ourselves.
Yeah, vice versa.
When we take care of ourselves, we take care of the earth. Yeah, I'm not sure that works. But in certain ways.
Yeah.
In certain ways.
I've been learning so much about this. I just spent the last weekend at the Blue Planet Future Festival. It's the second one here in Busan. It was so wonderful. I watched all these documentaries from all around the world talking about exactly this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you know, not to get all pessimistic here, but we're kind of coming to this tipping point, right? Things are getting kind of bad. We see it with all the different weather changes. We have extreme weather happening all over the world. Every July, it's like a new record high all around the world. So it's getting kind of bad, but there's good news. You know, we can do some things. It's not impossible. We can make little changes, little actions. And if we do, then we can really actually reverse some of these big impacts that climate change has.
Yeah.
So sustainable practices like just reducing your waste, reducing plastic use, meat consumption, supporting your eco-friendly businesses out there.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them in Korea.
Yeah.
So look
There
for
really
them,
are.
support them.
Yeah.
And that's going to help us in return.
Yeah.
Because everything's cyclical, you know, where it's all
That's
big.
right. Me
It's
time.
all interconnected,
Well,
guys.
that's the thing. If we don't have a beautiful earth and we just throw trash in the forest and trash in the oceans and, you know, we don't take care of our natural surroundings, then we can't enjoy our natural surroundings. So we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
If we want to go to the beach and enjoy a beach day and really spend some time alone to meditate or to journal or to just sit and eat ice cream all day, whatever, do your thing. But when you're surrounded by, like, glass and cigarette butts and, you know, that kind of stuff, it just is not good for our well-being. So, you know,
I mean, speaking of health, like just plastic, that's something I touch on a lot at the beach cleanups. All this plastic, all the cigarette butts, they all go into the ocean.
Yeah.
All this toxic chemicals leach out.
Yeah.
All the fish eat those things.
Yeah.
And then who eats the fish?
Who eats the fish? We eat
Well,
the
that's what
fish.
we do. It comes back to us.
That's the cycle. We're looking after ourselves. Okay, so if we want to go and enjoy some sustainable or some good practice or best practice me time by spending time with nature and therefore giving ourselves that lovely, you know, me time experience, where would you suggest?
Well, ocean-wise, I live in Haeundae, but I don't. Summertime is a little crowded over there, so I like to kind of escape over to Seongjeong. I love that area. And if you're not a big fan of going into the ocean, which, you know, some people it's too cold or you don't want to mess with all the
get
saltiness.
itchy or
I get it. But just walking by the ocean, there's so many benefits to that too. So my favorite place, ultimate favorite, is Dongbeksom. So if you just take a walk around, it's like that little island right at the end of Haeundae Beach, but you get the best of both worlds because you have the trees on one side, you have the ocean on the other, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Same with that Blue Line boardwalk.
Yes.
You have the ocean on one side, trees on the other. It feels so nice. It feels like a little escape.
Yeah, it's like a we're so spoiled in Busan.
We are.
We get a holiday, and so my friends are over from Scotland. Actually, they're leaving tomorrow, and they said, well, Mila, the oldest daughter, is like, I really just want to live here. I just want to live here. I'm like, well, and I was trying to say to her, yeah, but it's just a day-to-day life thing, you know. It just feels exciting for you because you're on holiday. And then I was like, actually, no.
Yeah.
Like, we are so lucky. We're so blessed with all of this fantastic, I mean, these resources everywhere that we can just enjoy. So, yeah, we are very lucky. Okay, so then what about if we want to go in the forest or if we're in the city? What are your tips?
Yeah, so forest-wise, I love, you mentioned Kumgang Park.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Go and take your shoes off and get your feet in that red clay.
That base is like just great for walking.
Yeah.
But if you want to challenge yourself, you can also climb up to the top. And the top has a little place where you can get pajan, makgeolli, little reward.
Which is also good for your body.
That's
your love.
great motivation also.
FYI, it is closed. The cable car, the ropeway cable car is closed on Mondays.
Oh, good to know.
Which I found out today. Whoops. What about city-wise? Because I know that a lot of people don't maybe have transportation. Yes. They don't have much time. So I know like places like Japan, one of my favorite forest therapy researchers, scientists, genius, is Japanese, and he says, one of the things that happens in Japan is people on their lunch hour will just go out and sit in a park at lunch hour and just forest bathe, get that green energy. And like professors will take their students out to have class in the park and that kind of stuff because the benefits are so good. So how about in the city?
Well, Korea is kind of awesome in the way that I feel like you're never too far away from some sort of park or someplace, even though it's kind of man-made, they've planted the trees and made nice little walks, but a lot of places in Korea, or even the rooftops.
Yeah.
Like, find out if your building has a rooftop, because most of the time, I know it's for smokers usually, but usually they have nice trees. It's just somewhere you can lay down, look at the clouds, a little place to kind of detach. But even right here in Sentum, that walk along Suyong River, at nighttime, it's so nice and peaceful. So you have little kind of benches and then little parks that you can stop at. But just walking along the river, that's great.
But what about if you're stuck in Charlie? But what about this? But what about that? What about if you can't get out? Maybe you contracted COVID and you're stuck indoors for a week. Maybe you are recovering from a serious illness or mobility issues, and you're in the house. Is there anything you can do indoors?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things actually, and I always get this as a present for any of my friends that live in the city or have office jobs. So you're stuck in an office all day long. Get a Himalayan salt lamp.
Ah, right.
Himalayan salt lamps emit those negative ions.
Yeah.
So if you can get a lamp, or even they have like candle forms, they have all different kinds. So you have to have
so
some
many
sort of
candle
heat.
holders.
Yes, because you have to have some sort of heat source.
Right.
If you just keep the lamp, it'll absorb all the moisture in the air and kind of melt.
Yeah.
So you need some sort of heat source because the water will go to the salt, and then when it evaporates, that's when it emits that negative ion.
Oh yeah, mine melted and it rusted up
in
my
the summer,
bookshelf.
Yeah, in summertime.
Whoops.
Careful with that.
Yeah.
But also beeswax candles.
Yeah.
Those also do the same thing, and just filling your indoor space with more plants.
Oh.
Or even like a small indoor water fountain.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
You can always vamp up your office space. And I'm sure if you have an office space with other people, they'll appreciate it too.
Absolutely. Bonnie, thank you so much for bringing us all this fantastic information. And I hope that we can bring you back and talk more about sustainable practices, sustainable living. But this was a perfect little me time episode and give us some good ideas for how we can increase our health while enjoying our lifestyle and also caring for the earth.
Yes.
Bonnie, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Nana.
Say my name. No one is around you. Say, baby.
All right, let's have a song. This is Destiny's Child. Say my name.
Say my name. You acting kind of shady. Ain't calling me baby. Why the sudden change? Say my name. Say my name. If no one is around you, say, baby, I love you. If you ain't running game, say my name. Say my name. You acting kind of shady. Ain't calling me baby. Better say my name. The other day, I would call, you would say, baby, how's your day? But today, it ain't the same. Every other word is a yeah, okay. Could it be that you are at the crib with another lady? If you took it there, first of all, let me say, I am not the one to sit around and be played. So prove yourself to me. I'm the girl that you claim. Why don't you say the things that you said to me yesterday? I know you say that I was doing things. Something's going down, that's the way it seems. Shouldn't be no reason why you acting strange. Nobody's holding you back from me. 'Cause I know how you usually do. When you're saying everything to me times two. I need you to tell the truth. If somebody's dead, then tell me who. Say my name, say my name. Say my name is around you. Baby, I love you. One day. Say my name, say my name. You kinda shady. Ain't calling me baby. Say my name, say my name. If no one is around you, say baby, I love you. the truth. Who you with? How would you like it if I came over with my clique? Don't try to change it now. See you gotta bounce when 2 seconds ago said you just got in the house. It's hard to believe that you are at home by yourself when I just heard the voice of someone else. Just this question, why do you feel you gotta lie? Getting caught up in your game when you cannot say my name. I know you say that I was doing things. Something's going down, that's the way it seems. Shouldn't be the reason why you're acting strange. If nobody's holding you back from me, I know how you usually do. When you're saying everything to me, don't you? Why can't you just tell the truth? If somebody's there, then tell me who. Say my name, say my name. Say, baby, I love you. Say my name, say my name. Sudden change, say my name. If it doesn't change, oh, baby, say my name. Acting kinda shady.
My ladies at?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Please say that. Come on.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All the girls say
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All the ladies say All the girls say Break it down. DC, take it to the bridge. Come
I
on.
know you say that I am assuming things. Something's going down, that's the way it seems. Shouldn't be the reason why you acting strange. Nobody's holding you back from me. I know how you usually do. When you're saying everything to me times two. Why can't you just tell the truth? If somebody's there, then tell me who. Say my name, say my name. No one is around you. Baby, I love you. Call me your name. Say my name. You tell me what you like to do. Calling me baby. Sudden change. Say my name, say my name. No one is around you. Say baby, I love you. Say my name. You acting kinda shady. You calling me baby.
안녕하세요. 고품격 영어 방송 Inside Out 부산의 품격 있는 Writer Steve입니다. Winners of Inside Out Busan listeners participation segment will get full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in 거제동 and 연산동, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권. A place to entertain your brain and eyes. Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. Museum of Illusion 부산 착시미술관 입장권. 언제나 맛있는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 인투 로스터리. Coffee voucher and a pack of fresh coffee whole beans sponsored by Into Roastery in Yangsan. A delicious brunch for two from Gorilla Brewing Busan, Gwangan branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. We prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky Top Floor Observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다. 부산 X the Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. IOB와 함께하는 품격 있는 선물. It's all yours, listeners.
Da-dum-bum. 7:46. Can you believe how quickly time goes? Oh my goodness. It's time for Quote Unquote. This is the segment where we bring you a quote and we talk about it. And, well, that's about it, really. We see what you think about it. And it's my turn today. And it will be my turn all week. And so I don't know really what I'm going to choose. If you have any ideas, you know, any quotes that you might like to listen to, then please do get in touch. Let me know. And we can read that. And we can do that. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to do this one. First up, a quote about love. Oh, and this quote is from Stephen Chbosky from The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And it says, we accept the love we think we deserve. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. We accept the love we think we deserve. Now, if that's, if that's true, it means that the kind of love we accept is a reflection of how we see ourselves. You know, I am worthy of this much love. And I don't think I really like that, you know? I don't like that at all. I want to accept the love that I want to accept. But if you don't love yourself, I think it goes back to this. If you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else, you know? Yeah, that's what RuPaul says. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? But anyway, so what do you think? We accept the love we think we deserve. Do you know, can I tell you a personal story? When I was growing up, I had a boyfriend. And he was a horrible, horrible boyfriend. But he used to treat me very badly. Like, he was pretty mean. And then he would say mean things, and we were just, he was 16, I was 17. So we were just kids, but he was pretty mean. And I would take this. I would, accept that this was our relationship dynamic, and I would be upset, and I would tell him not to speak to me like that, and I would say, why are you talking to me like that? But ultimately, I didn't leave, right? And looking back and thinking about this quote, we accept the love we think we deserve. Looking back, I think, actually, at that time, I probably thought that, that was my worth. That it was okay for him to talk to me like that, to treat me like that, etc. So even though in my brain I was like, don't treat me like that, or I said to him, don't treat me like that, why are you letting this, why are you doing this? I didn't break up with him. I mean, we broke up a bunch of times and then got back together, but I didn't end it with him until the year and a half. And so when I think about that, I think, do you know what's really important is teaching our children that they are worthy of fantastic love. Loving themselves specifically, but they're worthy of fantastic love. Love that is wholesome and that is nurturing and that is, uplifting and something that's going to be good for their health. Because 17-year-old Laura obviously didn't feel so good about herself. But see, now, if somebody was planning to do that to me, I can imagine. You can imagine what kind of thing I would say. What do you think? Yes, exactly. So I think that what we need, we accept the love we think we deserve by Stephen Chbosky. We need to have, first of all, education about relationship dynamics. That's very important. But mostly, we just need to teach our children that they are loved. We need to show them that they are loved. We need to show them positive examples of positive love. And I love those little affirmation videos or whatever when they've got a kid in the mirror and then either mom or dad or grandma or whoever is doing their hair and they're reciting the affirmations. And this is all it takes. It's just a bit of time, a bit of effort, a bit of energy into making sure that children know they're worth a whole bunch, a whole lot. Anyway. That was my quote-unquote for today. What do you think? If you think that I'm wrong, come at me, bro. I would love to have a discussion about it because I think that's the only way that people get better is when we open up our minds and our hearts and our ability to accept other people's opinions. So please do get in touch and let me know what you think about it. And unfortunately, it's time for me to say goodbye. Yeah, I know. Time flies. However, I will be back tomorrow at 6:08. As always, I'll be here on YouTube. I'll also be here on the airwaves, 90.5, 103.3 FM. Thank you for tuning in to BEFM's best show. Who's here to argue? I'm in the studio myself. Who's here to argue with me? Thank you for tuning in, and I will, of course, be back with you tomorrow. I want to say thank you so much to all of our guests, of course, to all of our listeners, our viewers, and everyone who participated in the show today. Today's show was produced by me and Min Soo-shin and Yoon Kim. It was also hosted by Laura McCluckey. Yes. It was written by Im Soo-jin. And also that's it. Final song for you today. 김이현 PD님. 김이현 PD님. 미안합니다. Everything, I'm just looking at my cue sheet now. There's nothing on there. Anyway, thank you to everybody. And I will see you tomorrow. Final song, Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Enjoy. Have a good night's sleep. Have a fabulous Tuesday. And I'll see you tomorrow. Night-night.
Like my only friend is the city I live in, the city of angels. Lonely as I am, together we cry. I drive on the streets 'cause she's my companion. I walk through the hills 'cause she knows who I am. She sees my good deeds and she kisses me when and I never worry. Now that is a lie. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's hard to believe that there's nobody out there. It's hard to believe that I'm all alone. At least I have her love. The city, she loves me. Lonely as I am, together we cry. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way.
부산을 한 장의 사진에 담는다면 어디로 가야 할까요? 꼬꼬마 시절 이때만큼은 세상을 내려다보며 꿈을 키웠고 용돈을 모아 산 사진기는 아직도 서랍 속에 있습니다. 시간이 흘러 키는 자라고 사진은 어디서든 찍을 수 있는 세상이 되었지만 부산의 진짜 모습을 보기 위해서는 같이 가볼 곳이 있습니다. 광복동에서 부산을 내려다보며 우리와 함께 해온 그곳. 새롭게 불을 밝힌 다이아몬드 타워와 함께 용두산 공원이 우리를 다시 찾아왔습니다. 북한과 남항, 멀리 남구와 해운대까지 부산을 한눈에 담을 수 있는 그곳. 알록달록 꽃시계와 함께 다시 시민의 품으로 돌아온 용두산 공원은 부산의 또 하나의 명소입니다. 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 BFM 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
저희 중소기업은 광고비가 제일 부담되죠.
코바코에서 TV, 라디오 광고비 지원받으세요.
혁신형 중소기업 방송광고 지원 제도로 광고비 70% 할인이나 250% 보너스 광고 지원.
코바코로 문의하세요. 051-751-0400.
70 years ago, Busan was the provisional capital of a war-torn Korea. But thanks to the international community, we emerged into an economic powerhouse embracing technology and industries. And now we wish to return the favor. The world now faces critical transitions stemming from digital inequity, food insecurity, climate change, and the pandemic. Sharing our unique journey of overcoming post-war poverty, we will put our heads together and move towards progress. Busan is now the model city of the fourth industrial revolution and smart city infrastructure. Looking ahead to 2030, Busan is prepared to attract the World Expo.